Thank you, John and Adrian, for organizing this event, and also particularly John for the initiative and the success in bringing this exhibition here at the school in Cambridge, and also gathering all these people here, artists, architects, scholars and researchers around this, this really rich theme of drawing and drawing ambience. So the first theme session is entitled Atmospheres, or the Ambience of Matter. And one could say that given the focus on matter, this is looking at something very tangible. We will consider matter, the physical impacts and characteristics of the materials architects work with or even against. But as the brief introduction to the session suggests, and as the word atmospheres and ambience also imply, the interest here is not so much to focus on the tangibility of the matter in and of itself, but to question the larger fields of forces and dynamic relations that are intimately tied to the matter we work with. In the session description, there are hints as to the very complex nature of what this matter or these materials might be. They are dynamic, they constantly change, they can be toxic, rare, complex, simple, compounded, intentionally produced or reproduced, controllable or not. And then there's the idea of ambience or atmosphere. At one end of the spectrum, we can have the atmospheres. I mean, we've talked about different kinds of atmospheres already, but we can have the atmosphere that Zumthor's architecture defines, or that the philosopher Gernot Bonen discusses, so the effective quality of ineffable and desirable experiences. But we could also think of Ed Burtynsky's atmospheric photographs, and how his work likewise foregrounds our phenomenological relations to matter, but matter now presented as oil fields, or matter as the mine materials shown together with the mining industries and the mine territories, a matter which is the surface and depth of the earth as something we have worked and continue to mark. At another level, one can also think of Primo Levi's short stories around the periodic table and consider metaphorical ways of moving about the affective and even narrative dimensions of even elements and matters. So all of this to say that from the very tangible anchor in matter, we are inevitably taken to consideration of social, economic, political, cultural, environmental, and also phenomenological conditions that the matter we work with point to. And I believe that the three first speakers today will address these each in their different ways. So Jane Hutton is a landscape architect and also assistant professor in the Department of Landscape Architecture at the Harvard Graduate School of Design, where she's co-director of the Energy and Environmental Master of Design Studies concentration. Her work focuses on the extended relationships of material practice in landscape architecture, and specifically she's interested in the links between the landscapes of production and consumption of common construction materials. Today she will look at Central Park by tracing the movement of its fertilizer, taking us all the way to the Peruvian Chinchas Islands, and foregrounding how the materials of the landscape are index of changes in different vital processes both locally and beyond. Charles Stankiewicz is an artist and assistant professor at the Daniel School Faculty of Architecture, Landscape and Design of the University of Toronto, where he's also director of the Visual Studies program. In his research and practice, which engages geography and the depth and complexity of landscape, he has used the notion of fieldwork, a notion that has very strong ties to what we are discussing today here as either backgrounds or ambience. His work has been exhibited internationally from the Louisiana Museum in Copenhagen to the Canadian Centre of Architecture in Montreal, but also Paris, Berlin, Italy, many different places. He is a founding faculty member of the Yukon School of Visual Arts, and today he will be tracing some of the evolution of metallurgy in the Canadian Arctic. Alessandra Ponte, our first speaker, is a full professor at the University de Montréal in Quebec. She recently published The House of Light and Entropy, which is a collection of essays that spans her research interests from the ideas of environment in the 20th and 21st centuries through the study of extreme landscapes, or even what she has addressed as entropic territories, which is also a topic she has explored in the context of the Phyllis Lambert International Seminars, which she has been responsible for since 2008. I think that Alessandra Ponte's talk this morning will be indeed a great threshold, yet another great threshold, into the discussions of the day, as she proposes to take us through the history of the word ambience its associations with medium, milieu, but also ambient and environment. And I will also take this opportunity to introduce Derek Revington, who we haven't seen yet. Oh, okay, yes. Colleague and professor here at the University of Bordeleau, artist, architect, and wonderful educator who has been also for years interested in matter and is going to be the respondent to this session. So again, thank you all for being here. And Alessandra, we are now all yours, but I think for 20 minutes, as I'm told that I have to be very strict with times, and I'll try to do that. Thank you.